prisonplanet.com. You can see the new redesign of prisonplanet.com, by the way, where they're messing with it in some of the browsers right now. But it's a new, sleeker site, and working out some bugs right now live at prisonplanet.com. Webster, you were finishing up. For those that don't know, you're in the middle of that demonstration. Strauss-Kahn seems seen as near collapse. New York Times, maid who accused DSK of sexual assault, repeatedly lied. The police are saying. Next question on Strauss-Kahn, was he set up? I mean, it's admitted that Sarkozy's Karl Rove, political strategist, released a Twitter before he was even arrested, before it was even in the news, and they later said, yeah, we had spies on Kahn, and clearly this is because Kahn was going to run against Sarkozy and win. What other comments do you have, Tarpley?
It's just a typical U.S. prosecutorial method. Remember Congressman Weldon of Pennsylvania delved into things, and he got attacked by a prosecutor. Then I don't believe there ever was an indictment at the trial. One congressman from New Jersey, right after 9/11, the senator, his name is escaping me now, but he wanted to have an immediate inquiry, and they simply put out a bunch of slanders about him, and he never got a trial. But listen, we got another crescendo of Kalashnikovs in the background. I have here one of your fans from Libya wants to say hello. Would that be all right?
Yes, your phone's a little overdriving. Go ahead.
Here we go. Wow. Yeah, hello.
Hello, who is this?
I'm Ashraf. How are you?
Good.
John?
I'm good. Tell us what's going on in Libya.
Yeah, what's going on right now? I wish you are here with us to see. It's a very, very, very good view. I'm here with your friend right now, and we wish that you are with us over here. So I hope from you to come over here and do some program, and I will let you have some shooting with my Kalashnikov. Yeah, I will give you any kind of weapon. Just come over here and try any kind of weapon. So you have to come over here. Then do a very, very good program over here, and you will have a lot of guns here. Not only from me, from everyone you will see.
Well, so, sir, I want to apologize.
We love to see you over here. We love to see you over here, and we love to see your program over here. So,
well, thank you, sir. You know,
come over here.
I want to apologize that America's been seized by megabanks, and they're using us, along with Europe, to do this to your country. But what is going to happen if NATO invades?
If he invades to come inside our country.
Please repeat that, sir.
You mean by invade that he will come inside our country inside?
Yeah, yes, if NATO invades you.
He will be in a very, very big problem with us over here. He will never could stand only for one day. I don't think he will go after to the next day. Only one day we will finish him over here.
Well, I certainly hope for your people and our people this doesn't happen. You guys seem really positive and cheerful. You know, a lot of folks in the West would probably be wetting themselves if the empire was about to invade.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Well, no, it sounds like you have a lot of courage and you're hoping for peace, but you're ready for war.
No, we want the peace, but if they don't want to stop, because they are the one who's not giving us our peace, so if they don't want to stop, then let them come down and let's fight together. We can bring our own peace instead of stop. We can discuss our own problem. We don't need the NATO. The NATO is, they are saying that they are protecting the civilians.
All right. Well, sir, we're out of time, but thank you. Hopefully we'll get more reports from you there in Libya. Thank Dr. Tarpley. We'll be right back with former U.S. Senator. Stay with us. All right, we've got a lot of news on the economy, the debt ceiling, the Russian envoy to NATO saying there is a plan that they're going to try to invade in September or October of Libya. Horrible news for our economy, our troops. We're so bankrupt. But why shouldn't the bankers try to bankrupt us even more? We also have a lot of other really important news dealing with Obama's executive order on the rural councils and UN Agenda 21. We also have more on TSA body scanners. Now in Europe, doctors are refusing to go through and just not allowed to fly. So this is going on all over the world. So we're going to be covering that coming up about 25 minutes from now, when former U.S. Senator Mike Revelle, 2008 presidential candidate and distinguished former U.S. Senator from Alaska from 69 to 81, is the founder of the 9/11 Initiative campaign. Mike has traveled extensively to speak with 9/11 truth activists about his effort. They've now launched, or about to launch, at 911cc.org or 9-11cc.org. It'll get you there both ways. Or MikeRevelle.us. You can link over to the other site that way. They got a very exciting initiative to call for a new investigation of 9/11. Again, 9/11, whether you think it's an inside job or not, whether you buy the fairy tales or not, that Santa Claus is real and the rest of it, that Building 7 could fall on its own, that passports could survive and be found that day. I mean, all of this craziness. You cannot deny it's been used against the American people. The Patriot Act is used thousands of times a year per state, admittedly, in non-terror related domestic disputes, marijuana, that our republic is dying. And 9/11 is a stake that they're trying to basically crucify us with. They're killing us with this system. And so the idea, I see these people on my website saying, if you don't like the TSA, don't fly. Well, they admit they're going on the streets of America. I mean, they're going into high school proms. I mean, it's incredible that all of this is happening, and so we've got to expose the fraud, the myth, the fable, the religion of 9/11, the idea that government is going to protect you from real terror attacks, provocateur terror attacks, staged terror attacks, manufactured, synthetic. There's all these different forms of terror attacks, and that's why we've got to expose the big lie of 9/11 that's launched all these wars. They said Saddam did it. You know, I mean, it's ongoing. Senator Revelle, thank you for joining us today to announce this new initiative.
Well, thank you for having me and giving us an audience that's attuned to conspiracy theories and really doesn't buy necessarily what the government has put out. Even the people in the commission that was appointed by Bush admitted that they were designed to fail. They didn't have enough money. They didn't have enough time. And several members called it a fraud. We need to know what's gone on. As you pointed out in your lead-up, here we have probably the most significant event in the last 100 years affecting our history, our survival as a democracy, and it needs to be investigated. We need to know what really happened leading up to 9/11, what happened on 9/11, and what happened in the aftermath of 9/11. And we don't know that. We do know that over the last 9 years, almost 10 years now, that private citizens on their own initiative have gone out and done unbelievable research, scientific research, analysis, and really that information, that knowledge, that data indicates that there's just something askew in what really happened, and we need to know it. Now, we're not saying that this party or that party are the guilty parties. What we're saying is the facts do not add up at this point in time, and it's in our national interest to investigate the situation to determine what really did happen and if there were other people involved in criminality. But we don't know that yet. We just know that it doesn't add up right now.
Well, I had, and this is important because it shows the people's tactics that are going to be used, the folks that want to suppress inquiry, investigation, transparency. The BBC came here to interview me, and I had agreed to the interview, but then forgot about it. Months later, they showed up, and I was kind of blindsided by it. And once I was in the interview, the individual interviewing me just kept giggling, and I would say, well, do you think passports can magically come out of the fireball in the plane and be found in all the bedlam? And he giggled and said, yes, I do. And it was real funny. So, I mean, I was dealing with a real mercenary. And then he said, don't you want to deny 9/11 truth? Don't you know it's dying? Don't you know it's been discredited when actually the opposite's happened according to all the polls and the evidence? And now I understand that they're going to people in the 9/11 truth movement who clearly are cognitive dissonance folks that Cass Sunstein talked about, infiltrators, who basically are called up, before the council to admit they're a witch and to denounce us and say that we're witches. It's kind of like that thing from 500. years ago, and you know, he said, you know, do you want to renounce your 9/11 trutherism? You know, everyone's renouncing it. And it's kind of like everybody knows the moon is made of cheese. Everybody knows they found WMDs in Iraq. So they're so desperate to prop up their fable, their conspiracy theory, that they're now going to incredible lengths. And they've got all these U.S. and foreign specials, British specials, BBC specials coming out where they announce, you know, that Ding Dong, you know, the evil witch of 9/11 truth is dead. And it shows how desperate they are, Senator.
And it's not working. It's not working at all, because I think any reasonable person looking at the situation can't quarrel with the having an investigation. It's just so fundamental. When you don't have all the information, having an investigation is just logical, and that's really the whole case that we make. We're not defining a conspiracy. We're just saying that there's enough questions that require an investigation. And since the body politic, my God, the politicians are frightened of this, and they think it's a poison pill for their own careers if they even step forward and say something on it. And so what we need is what we're doing, which is beginning to take ordinary citizens and bring them to the fore in pressing for this investigation.
Well, we're going to talk about the new initiative, but people tend to forget now, coming up just a few months away, 3 months away now, or less, 10-year anniversary, that 6 of the 10 9/11 commissioners say that it was either a complete fraud and a lie and a criminal cover-up by the, quote, Pentagon and White House, or a partial cover-up. In the aftermath of the 3 lawyers, 2 of the lawyers, Farmer and others, have come out and said it's a criminal cover-up. Cheney and Bush testified not under oath but in secret. I mean, it just goes on and on. Folks forget the commission itself, after the fact, came out and said it was a fraud because they know later the truth's going to come out, and they had pangs of conscience.
That's accurate, Alex. And that alone, forget all the other data, with respect to Building 7 and all of that, but that alone requires a new investigation. Without going into any conspiracies, we're just saying that the people who were charged with investigating it have said we didn't do the job, and they've said even worse, as you pointed out. So how could anybody question the efficacy of going forth with not asking the government, because we know we'll not get justice from the government, but asking the people in various states, do you want a new investigation? And if they vote in the affirmative for the initiative, then a body comes into being, a citizens commission comes into being, which then other states, by initiative or resolution, can tie into with a joint powers agreement. And so we can broaden the geographic reach of this commission right across the country, even though we don't have it in federal law at a national level.
And by the way, the feds are obviously very scared of this. They tried to get a state investigation and then a city investigation in New York. And even though they had the signatures, the courts wouldn't let it come forward. They are kicking and screaming. They do not want independent investigations to draw attention to the complete nonsensical fairy tale. You know, because the media, the corporate globalist media, always says, well, you have all these different views and ideas because we don't know the truth. We're investigating. There's a whole sea of different ideas. A lot of them have been proven to be operatives that go in to try to, you know, say ridiculous things to discredit real inquiry. And we're seeing that's the new initiative with the BBC. I mean, I've been just confirmed some information this morning that just blows me away, but we have to continue to collate the information. The system is very scared and trying to rewrite history again back to their false narrative, but it's not going to work.
No, I don't think so, and I think that this approach, see, it's an actionable approach. What we've had within the 9/11 truth movement is essentially the gathering of information and data. What we're now doing is taking this information and saying, hey, we need a legitimate investigation. The government's not going to give it to us, so we need to use the only tool at our disposal, which exist in 24 states where people can make laws directly.